Hello, and welcome to the Alaska Virtual College Fair. Thank you for joining us today. A few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. You can direct a question to a specific school or ask a question for all of our representatives to weigh in on. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. This is just one of many different sessions that are happening, so be sure to sign up for additional sessions. This presentation is being recorded and will be available within about a week at the same website where you registered. I'd now like to turn it over to our presenters. We are in this box right here, D3. Our first presentation tonight will be from Sacred Heart University.
Thanks, Jennifer. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Sarah Kolaski. I'm the Regional Director of Admissions for Sacred Heart University. Sacred Heart is a mid-sized Catholic university located in Fairfield, Connecticut. We're about an hour and a half outside of New York City and about 2.5 hours to Boston. We're also located in the third most concentrated area of Fortune 500 companies, so the opportunity for that experiential learning is readily available for our student body. We're sort of this hybrid of liberal arts meets career education, meaning that students who come in definitely have the opportunity to explore through our Major in Success program, where they're actually partnered with a career advisor throughout their time. In addition, we do also have 60 undergraduate majors alongside 35 plus graduate programs. So we're seeing about 40% of our student body come back to a site-specific Sacred Heart grad program, just because a lot of these majors do require that higher learning anyway. And it does offer that incentive for priority consideration in the process, being able to start classes in your junior and senior year and some of our accelerated tracks, and also just helping you really develop in the curriculum that you're looking for moving forward. We are a Catholic university, but we are independent from the church, so we do not have religious requirements for our students. You do not have to be Catholic to attend Sacred Heart. The biggest takeaway I would have with the faith itself is our commitment to service and doing that at both the local and global level. We don't have religious requirements. The only classes that students are all going to take are Intro to World Religions, Intro to Philosophy, and what's called the Catholic Intellectual Tradition, which is going to be similar to any first-year interdisciplinary course that sort of challenges those big inquiries of what does it mean to be human, how should we live together, what is my purpose here. We can easily see how much that translates in our community itself, where we have over 100,000 hours of community service completed every year. And of 100 plus clubs and activities that we do have on campus, Habitat for Humanity is our largest student-run club. So I think that speaks just to the overall character of our community. Some of our most popular majors are in predominantly the health sciences. We're top in state and top 5 in New England for our direct entry nursing program, physical therapy, occupational therapy, and athletic training. And you can see that we've had high accolades associated with the success rate in terms of passing our boards exams. We also had 100% first time pass rate for our FNP program as well. But we're also growing in a lot of different areas. We have an internationally accredited business school, and the top 5% of ABA accredited business schools in the world. We're top 20 in the country for our performing arts with a direct connection to Broadway. And we're also top 20 in the country for game design, which is one of our newest and most unique majors currently on campus. Sacred Heart is very much in a pivotal growth phase right now. In the last 7 years, we've had 13 new buildings introduced to campus. So we're really looking to provide as many resources as possible for our student body. Up top, you can see our traditional East Coast diner. We're one of 3 college campuses in the country to have this 1950 style diner as a meal option, and it overlooks all of our athletics fields. So it's a really great place to connect with your peers and have a really tasty meal even at any kind of time of the day. Our WSU Public Radio and Public Safety Center is furthering communications both on and off campus. As a residential community, we're looking to build additional dormitories for our upperclassmen. We do have a 2-year residency requirement, but after that, you do have the option to live off campus. But we're hoping to be about full 100% residential by the end of next year, and we're currently at 80% residential right now, even though housing is guaranteed all 4 years. Our biggest project is probably the acquisition of GE's former headquarters, which is home to now our College of Business and Technology, artificial intelligence lab, game design lab, computer science labs, and also a hotel for our hospitality and resort management students that they'll be able to self-run as an internship upon completion of renovation by the end of next year as well. Especially for my undecided engineers, this is a great time to come in. We don't have an impacted engineering track and a lot of different majors to choose within engineering itself if you're looking for something a little bit more unique than just a traditional track. We also have our Bobby Valentine Athletics and Rec Center, which is furthering communications both on and off camp, allowing opportunities to allocate space for our varsity athletes. We have 32 Division I athletic sports. We also have 35 club sports, so our student body is very active, so we wanted to have an extra space for that as well. And finally, we did purchase a community theater in downtown Fairfield, which we're looking to, again, further the growth of the performing arts moving forward. We have 28 different performing arts groups on campus, all of which have opportunities for additional talent-based scholarships as well. And finally, it's not pictured here, but we are in the process of a $60 million ice hockey arena, which should be completed by the start of 2023 to just further our growth in those programs as well. So it's a really exciting time. There's a lot happening on campus, and there's a little bit of everything for students as they're identifying that fit. And finally, I just wanted to share our overall application review process. All of our deadlines are listed here. We are on the common application. We don't have any supplemental requirements outside of that, and we are test optional for all of our majors this year. We've been test optional for about 15 years, and as you can see, depending on what program that you're looking to apply for, you'll see the ranges in which students have been successful in those respective programs. I highly encourage my students to be very specific in areas of extracurricular activities. Just as I mentioned, we do have the opportunity to award additional talent-based scholarships. And if you have any questions moving forward, feel free to give me, shoot me an email or give me a call, as I would be your direct point of contact in the office as well. Thank you so much for your time, and I will pass it over to the next presenter.
Thank you so much, Sarah, for sharing more about Sacred Heart. We'll next be hearing about the University of Rochester.
Hi everyone, my name is Libby Brown. It's nice to meet you all, and I hope you're doing well. Obviously, this is a very extraordinary time in all of our lives, so I hope that you, your family, your communities have been staying safe and sound. We are located in Rochester, New York, and I'll get into that in just a minute, but I wanted to introduce myself also as one of the primary resources for you from looking at this university. So I am one of the West Coast admissions counselors. I am a regional associate director of admission, and I work with all the West, including Alaska. And I'm really excited to work with you further if you are excited about Rochester from this point on, or if you were excited about us beforehand. I'm really excited again to share time with you today, and thank you for taking the time out of your schedules to sit on another Zoom with us. Rochester is located in the upstate New York region on the ancestral homelands of the Haudenosaunee, specifically Seneca community. We are in the upstate area, so I always like to gently remind students that there's a big old country between us, but actually that's about it. Especially for the New York City area, we are a little bit further away, especially from Fairfield, Connecticut. We're about a solid 5.5 hours away to Sacred Heart University, but we're about an hour away from the Canadian border, just over the Niagara Falls, and Buffalo is about an hour from us, and we're just over Lake Ontario from Toronto. So we can see it on a clear day, but the city is the 3rd largest in the state, and we are very much a community that really benefits from our small size. As a Tier 1 research institution, we get about $438 million of funding for research alone each year, but our 5,500 undergrad community is a very big benefit for for that. We certainly encourage our students to get very deeply involved in undergraduate research. We have an Office of Undergraduate Research, a Journal of Undergraduate Research, and all areas of the curriculum are covered under that. All of our faculty do research, including those in dance and theater, but we are really well known for our healthcare fields. The University of Rochester Medical Center is one of the top medical programs in the country. We also are really well known for our Eastman Conservatory of Music, which is, again, a world-renowned conservatory. It's an incredible community in terms of music, lots of different offerings in terms of ensembles, orchestras, you name it, we probably have it. We are also a community that is very well known for the political sciences, economics, certainly psychology, brain and cognitive science, neuroscience, and then certainly engineering is a really big part of who we are, as well as business. So we have a whole lot of ground to cover in terms of all of the different offerings, but the thing that really kind of shapes our entire experience is our curriculum. We are one of the very few schools in the entire country, and honestly the world, that offers what we call an open curriculum. We do not have general education requirements. We ask our students to really dive deep and understand, from self-reflection, introspection, advising, support conversations, where that path is really going to lead them. And the important thing for us is not so much putting a cookie cutter mold on top of you, but really drawing out the things that are most exciting and most interesting to you. There is a lot of students that end up exploring deeply into the very first parts of their experience, freshman year. And that has obviously also contributed to their changing of their majors or adding additional majors throughout their 4-year experience with us. And that is A-okay for us, and in fact, actively encouraged. We love to see students really embrace the things that make them happy, make them excited excited to learn, go into the classroom and get deeper dives into it. But with our 10-to-1 student to faculty ratio, average class size of 15, there's a really strong emphasis again on the individual either way. There's a very strong correlation to our students having a lot of early exposure to career and study abroad opportunities, research that informs their decisions towards grad programs, towards career development in the latter half of their experiences. And so we do offer all the way up to PhD, our MD programs, our School of Nursing have wonderful opportunities for students. But the important thing for us is acknowledging and understanding the intersectional, interdisciplinary experience, and having you be the foster of your own experience in that way too. Especially for the research component, like I said, it is a huge part of who we are. We officially identify about 77% of our student body as participating in research formally, but there's also independent research and individual research that's being done on our campus. So really that number is quite closer to 100%. And I think that makes a big difference in the way that students navigate their experience. Particularly in the grad program process, a lot of our students are able to publish, able to go to various different competitions and such. So it does make a big difference. Our student life is very vibrant. We also have a very large international community. It's about 120 countries represented on our campus and a solid 25% of our student community. So it is a really important part of us, especially study abroad opportunities, those sorts of things. I'd love to chat with you more about it, but certainly as part of that, I don't have enough time. So if you have questions or further questions about the experiences here, I'd love to have them in the Q&A as soon as possible. Did want to cover that we are test optional. We do meet 100% of demonstrated need, including additional holistic review for merit scholarships. Our timelines for early decision, early action, or excuse me, we don't offer early action. We do offer early decision, but we do also offer a regular decision timeline as well. Again, that's my contact information. If you have further questions, I'm more than happy to connect with you and work with you further. But either way, I'm wishing you all the best. I'm hoping that we all get through this as soon as possible. But in the meantime, we hope you stay safe, stay well, and looking forward to working with you further. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Libby, for sharing more about the University of Rochester. Our next presentation is going to be from Johnson and Wales University. And just a quick reminder about that Q&A box. So as we get ready to start our next presentation, remember, attendees, please drop some questions in the box for our presenters to answer for you and to share more information. Renee?
Thank you. Let me just get set up here. My name is Renee, and I am an admissions representative with Johnson & Wales University, and I'm also an alumni of Johnson & Wales University. I'm the admissions representative working with Southern California as well as our Alaskan students. So thank you so much for joining us today. Now, Johnson & Wales, we're a private, not-for-profit university. We have been in existence just over 100 years, and we started off as a business school and have grown to having 6 schools and colleges, but actually 2 different campuses as well. So our main campus is in Providence, Rhode Island, and we also have a campus in Charlotte, North Carolina. The great thing about having the 2 locations is once you're accepted to one, you're actually accepted to both of them. So Rhode Island is such a small state. We're the smallest state in the United States, and our campus is very urban, right in the center of everything. You can see this green patch of grass here. Our housing, our dorms, residential life, dining facilities are all surrounding our main quad. And right outside of our gates, there's shops, restaurants, movie theaters, the live performing arts center, so everything within walking distance. We have a great public transportation system, so you really don't need a car to get around. You can jump on the train, you can be at the beaches in Rhode Island in about a half an hour, you can be in New York City in 3 hours, and you can be in Boston in 1 hour. So it's great to be able to kind of go out and explore up and down the East Coast. And you will experience the 4 seasons as well. We have some pictures here of our different classrooms, our baseball team, and our main gates at Johnson & Wales in Providence. Now, our Providence campus was voted by Money Magazine as one of the best colleges for 2019-20. And you can see by our total number here of just undergraduate students, just over 6,700. We also do have some doctorate and some master's degree programs as well, but this number just represents our undergrad. Now, our second location is in Charlotte, North Carolina, also known as the Queen City. We're home to just over 1,500 students and also right in the center of everything. Charlotte has the second largest contingency of Fortune 500 companies, so really strong opportunities for our students to get out of the classroom and put into play what they've been learning. And again, 1,500 students, and Wall Street Journal ranked us as one of their top universities as well. So again, great to be recognized on a smaller regional scale. Now, Johnson & Wales, the benefits of going to college, these will all be put into play starting freshman year. We're big on networking. We're big on getting you started in your major right from the beginning. We have 6 schools and colleges. This is a great website to explore, thinking about what you're enjoying doing as a high school student and how you can do that for the rest of your life. So do something that you enjoy that makes you excited to go to work every day. Now at Johnson & Wales, we have 3 different parts to our curriculum that set us apart from a traditional college or university. As a freshman, as a sophomore, you take your core classes right from the beginning. So first week, freshman year, you're doing classes that are important to you. What do you see yourself doing? The second part of our curriculum is we enjoy learning labs, so that learning by doing, more of that hands-on style experience. And then the third component that we enjoy for our students is we have internships where our students are out of the classroom working in their field of study. And these are some great numbers. We're working with over 1,500 companies across the United States as well as across the world. 71% of our students that participated in internship actually had a job offer. And we're setting our students up from freshman year to prep for these internship opportunities. We do offer study abroad. You can go as early as 2nd semester freshman year. We're always introducing new majors, data analytics, very popular, as is exercise science, looking at the physical therapy and kinesiology. Our College of Food Innovation and Technology is really what has set Johnson & Wales apart from the other culinary colleges and universities out there. We're always ranked one of the top worldwide. And it's not just cooking or baking anymore. We're looking at culinary science. We're looking at performance nutrition for professional and collegiate athletes, dietetics, health and wellness, culinary science, product development. So anything to do with food, Johnson & Wales is your go-to college and university. Lots of ways to get involved, over 150 student organizations. If we don't have one that you want to join, talk with your academic advisor, see if we can add that in. We do have housing on campus, and we were actually voted number 9th most pet-friendly campus. So you can bring your dog or your cat if you choose to do so. We have athletics. We're part of the NCAA. We have quite a few student athletes from the West Coast and actually quite a few from Alaska as well, joining us as student athletes. There's ways to be recruited, so definitely check us out online. Now, talking about the money side, Johnson & Wales, again, we're a private not-for-profit university, so we do offer quite a bit of funding for our students. In fact, 94% of our students do receive financial assistance. That comes in the form of merit scholarships, anywhere from $7,000 to $21,000 each year, renewable for 4 years. We work with national student organizations. We work with outside scholarships, and of course, the FAFSA. Send that to every school that you apply to. We have plenty of work-study jobs on campus too. Our code is 3404. Check us out online. We have virtual tours. You can set up an appointment with a financial planner, or you can even do some cook-alongs with our chefs. We're on the Common App, our JWU app. We're test optional. Early action's coming up November 1st, and traditional deadline is March 1st. We do not charge an application fee, so it's very easy to apply at no cost to you. So check us out online. You can scan this QR code if you'd like to learn a little bit more. Thank you so much for your time. Again, my name is Renee, and I'm working with the Alaskan students.
Thanks, Renee, for sharing more about Johnson & Wales University. Our next presentation will be St. John's College.
Hello, hello. My name is David. I work at St. John's, and I'm also a graduate of St. John's College, 2016. So we are a very small liberal arts college with 2 campuses. We were founded in Annapolis as King William School in 1696, rechartered St. John's in 1783, so we're one of the oldest colleges in the country. Annapolis, Maryland on the East Coast is right on the Chesapeake Bay, right between Baltimore and Washington, D.C. You may notice that this doesn't look like it's between 2 major cities behind me or on any bay, and that's because that's our second campus in Santa Fe, New Mexico. I'm based on the Santa Fe campus right now, but whichever campus you applied to, I'd be the one to kind of help you with your application. The application process is the same. We ask you to indicate a preference, but our students can actually switch back and forth between the 2 campuses during their time at St. John's. The most unique thing about St. John's is that we are a great book school. So in some ways, we're sort of the reverse of an open curriculum. All of our students are taking the exact same interdisciplinary 4-year curriculum, all going through the same reading list, same classes. There are no majors, there are no concentrations, there aren't even any departments. So it's a very unusual academic model. The great books part comes in the sense that we're going to be using all original sources. So for instance, in senior lab, our students study in senior math, actually more in senior math than anything, students study relativity. Instead of reading a textbook about what Einstein discovered, you read some of Einstein's actual papers and kind of work through the math with your classmates. In addition to that, all of our classes are going to be discussion classes. So no lecture classes. Effectively, once you get past the admissions office, nobody at St. John's is ever going to lecture you at any length. And our maximum class size, and I want to emphasize not the average class size, but the absolute biggest class you can ever have at St. John's is 21 students. Most classes will be smaller than 20, and we have a 7-to-1 student to faculty ratio. During class at St. John's, you meet around a table with your classmates and the faculty. We don't even call our faculty professors. They call themselves tutors. Since they don't profess, they don't lecture. They'll be asked an opening question. They might kind of work to facilitate and spark the discussion, but it's going to be you and your classmates who are expected to do most of the talking in class and most of the figuring out, frankly, and that's true from kind of day 1 on. What I've got here up is actually sort of an overview of the program, because I know that can be, it's a very kind of different model. You kind of wonder, okay, wait, what would my 4 years look like? So you'd have 4 years of a class called seminar. That's kind of like a history of thought. That's where you'd be reading a lot of the literature and philosophy, everything from Plato to Flannery O'Connor, working its way forward chronologically from the ancient Greeks. That would meet twice a week, a 2-hour discussion class. You'll take 4 years of mathematics 3 times a week. Again, still a discussion class, still expected to write essays. Every class writes analytic essays, even math. starting with Euclid, Ptolemy, some other ancient mathematicians, and working forward through Leibniz and Newton's works on calculus, Cantor and Dedekin's works on number theory and set theory, into some of Einstein's papers on relativity, along with Lobachevsky's work on non-Euclidean geometry by the time you graduate. For language study, all our students do 4 years of language. During your first 2 years, you'll primarily be studying ancient Greek. During your second 2 years, primarily French. In both cases, you'll be studying with an eye towards translation, kind of translating some of those works you're reading in other classes, and thinking more broadly about how language affects our understanding of a work. All of our students take 3 full years of laboratory science, again, starting with the oldest stuff, but a little more organized by subject here. A lot of biology and chemistry freshman year. Junior year, getting into, Maxwell, Galileo, Franklin, other writers on electricity and magnetism. And then senior year, reading a lot of authors in the field of quantum mechanics, as well as authors like Darwin and Lamarck on evolutionary theories of the 19th and 20th centuries, primarily. So again, kind of working your way forward chronologically. Again, it's still going to be a discussion class, so you're still going to be writing analytic essays, but at the same time, you'll also be doing bench work, replicating experiments, performing experiments in your own with your classmates as the hands-on component as well. In addition, all of our students actually take 3 semesters worth of music. Freshman year is just some music basics, getting familiar with some of the pieces you'll be studying more in depth, and sort of understanding the basics of music theory if you don't have that under your belt already. It's not expected. And then sophomore year, you sort of dig into seminar-style discussions of music theory and music as musical pieces as texts. So sort of seminaring on them and also kind of working through the theory of them. So as you can see, it's possibly the most kind of well-rounded education one could imagine. It's the sort of the uber liberal arts, if you will, sort of really everything on that spectrum of liberal arts. Our graduates go on to do all kinds of things, ranging from teaching, computer science, business, and we have funding available for internships and even summer coursework or lab work or study abroad to help students sort of supplement the program. We have no application fees. We take the common application, the coalition application, and our own application, whatever works best for you. Yeah, I think that's about all the time I have, but if you have any other questions, I'm available on the website. You can set up an appointment or email me anytime.
Great. Thank you so much, David, for sharing about St. John's College. We'll be listening to our 5th school tonight, Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University.
Hi, everybody. My name's Krista. I am the Assistant Director of Admissions for the Embry-Riddle Prescott campus. Thanks for sticking around. First off, thanks for joining us, and thanks for sticking around to the end. I think that I could show you a little bit better than I could tell you kind of the opportunities that the Embry-Riddle Prescott campus offers. So I'm going to go ahead and play you a short video to start this off.
High fluid thermal conditioning, not required, Max. That's correct, flight. GC, go. Guidance, go. FIDO, go. Prop, go. GNC, go. Max, go. Eagle, go. Ecom, go. FAO, go. Pace. CO, go.
throughout the university. It really gives you an example of all the things that you can do as an undergrad. But since we don't have a lot of time here this evening, I just want to hit on some of the most important points that you got to see in that video. First and foremost, we are the #1 aerospace engineering program in the nation in the undergraduate category, as well as all of our other engineering programs, mechanical engineering being in the top 20s, and then the other engineerings are just as superior. We have the first and only College of Security and Intelligence in the nation, and we also have the first and only aerospace physiology program on our Florida campus. We are an ABET accredited institution, ABET standing for Accreditation Board of Engineering and Technology, which is one of the highest accreditations that an engineering degree can hold. Our graduates yield among the highest return on investment in the nation. We are actually in the top 1% of all colleges in the whole entire nation. So if you can think of all of the colleges out there and that we have one of the highest return on investments, that means that the money that you are investing in yourself and in your education, you are seeing back in your careers, typically making over $1 million in the course of your career. We are also the top ranked institution in both Arizona and Florida for the highest quality of education and as well as affordability. We do have 2 residential campuses, one on the East Coast. The Daytona Beach campus is a little bit bigger with 7,000 students and an average class size of about 27. They have about 200 plus clubs and organizations out there and 20 intercollegiate sports. They play in the Division II NCAA. And they host the Air Force, the Army, and the Navy ROTC. I am from the Prescott campus. I actually graduated from the Prescott campus, and I'm currently a master's student. We're a little bit smaller with about 3,000 students. Our average class size is 24. We don't have any lecture halls that could hold more than 60 students on the campus. So that should tell you how many of those you could possibly have. I think my total time, I maybe only took 2. We also have 200 plus clubs and organizations on campus. And if there is something that you can't find, you are always welcome to start that club with a few of your friends and an advisor, and you can get funding from the institution. We have 10 intercollegiate sports, and we compete in the NAIA, and we also host the Air Force and the Army ROTC. Some of our outcomes, 94% of our ERU graduates are employed or continuing their education within 1 year of graduation, with only 3% actually continuing their education. So that means that 91% of our students are graduating and getting a job within their degree field within 6 months to a year after graduating. Just to put that in perspective for you, just last year, the national average for you graduating and getting a job in your degree field was actually 35%. So that means that more than half of the students that are going to college are not getting a job in their career field. So we're super proud to be double, almost triple that national average. We also have a strong industry outlook because of our career services that works really closely hosting 2 career fairs every year. The industry leaders come and they're actively recruiting our students. And that is also because we have a lot of alumni out there in the workforce. So if you're looking to work for any airline, Boeing, NASA, SpaceX, Raytheon, the CIA, the FBI, we can definitely get you in contact with them. If you are a senior, it is your application senior season. So we offer our application online. All that we require is your online application, as well as your unofficial high school transcripts. If you want to reach out to that email up above, we can get you an application waiver code to save that $50. And then everything else is optional. So your letters of recommendation, test scores, essay, and resume are all optional, and you will be reviewed automatically for merit-based scholarships if you have above a 3.0 and you are accepted. So thank you so much for joining us today, and I hope you have a great rest of your evening.
Great. Thank you so much, Christopher, sharing Embry-Riddle with all of us. All right. So this is our definite next. We do have still a few more minutes. So for any of our attendees who are now thinking of a question, or maybe you want to follow through, and we actually just got a question in here, but I think it would be awesome and a great question. The students asked about one of the schools, but I also think we should have everyone answer this if that's all right with everybody. So if all of the presenters want to come back with a video on, we will do this. And so thank you. So again, students, this is a great time. Any other parents, family, guidance counselors, please feel free to drop a question in. So one of the students has asked about a favorite thing. about each campus. This is actually one of my favorite questions to answer, and I know it is for our representatives as well. So we'll just go through each of the campuses and make this an open answer for everyone. If you don't mind, we'll just go in the same order that we presented, just so y'all stay organized. So what is a favorite thing about your campus, something unique or interesting that you really would like to share? So Sacred Heart, start us off, and then when they finish, just next school, Rochester, hop in line.
Yeah, thanks. So I think one thing I love about Sacred Heart is just like the whole semblance of the community. I think the way in which like our most popular majors are sort of in those service-oriented majors, you truly feel like at home on campus. And even in a size, we're about 5,400 undergraduate students. Every time that I go back to campus, since I'm regionally based for the university as well, it's just as warm and as welcoming. The ambassadors are so excited to get to know about what we're doing on our end to really promote the university, and they really want to see the success of Sacred Heart. I love just seeing them walk around, like you're seeing students run in their scrubs or their athletic gear and really kind of showing their own identity in their own way. So I think they're just really passionate. One of the big traditions we have, which is a fun one, is the entire marching band, including with like bagpipers, drums, everything, will process through the entire campus throughout opening week, welcoming students. And we have our Massapalooza in the spring. While it's rooted in sort of a faith-based concept, it is very much a great big festival for like students to come together, really understand that idea of inclusion and tolerance and patience around one another. So I think if you're looking for that type of supportive campus, Sacred Heart would be a great fit overall.
I would echo Sarah in terms of the people. I definitely would identify the favorite thing as the people on our campus as well. I feel like our campus community really fosters a very individual pathway for each student, and especially when it comes to the embracing of different cultures, different opportunities, that sort of open-mindedness and willingness to learn. Our motto is ever better, right? The Meliora, Latin for ever better, and the idea of ever bettering yourself in the process of ever bettering the world around you is a really cool thing that I think really is in action at all times on our campus. One of the favorite traditions that I have, just to sort of show this sort of down-to-earth warmth, quirkiness maybe of our campus community, is that yes, we do get snow just like Alaska, and so we do get this wonderful little experience of the first snow. All of our statues somehow end up with knit caps and scarves on them. I think it's the gnomes, but I've been told that it's our knitting club. So these sorts of things where you're sort of walking around campus and all of a sudden you go, huh. I love that. I think our students embrace creativity, embrace this sort of innovative, quirky kind of mentality, and always think about the ways that they can engage the community as a whole, but also how they can be embracing so much different experiences as a part of their time at Rochester. So those are my favorite things, definitely. But Ava, I appreciate you asking the question either way.
I think at Johnson & Wales, since I'm an alum of the university, I was able to experience a lot of it firsthand. Can you hear me well? Okay. What I find, there's actually three things, and I was trying to figure out which one I like the best, but I think that it's such a combination. The first is, as a freshman, the very first night, all of our freshmen are there on campus. We have what's called Ignite the Night, and they have bonfires and they have fire pits, and our chefs are out there cooking for the students, and they end it all with s'mores, and the freshmen put kind of like their hopes and dreams in this lantern that they let up into the sky. So that's kind of a neat program for our freshmen as their first official weekend on campus. But I think another section of the whole upside down curriculum, the internship starting out freshman year, I remember the exhilaration going through me as I was going up to talk with the vice president of hotel operations for Hyatt, for Sheraton, for Marriott, just to kind of learn about their job opportunities and to make those connections, and then to come back sophomore year and get that internship offer junior year. But then when I was working, I got to go back and recruit the students. So that was, the tables were flipped. So that was really exciting. And I think another fun part, since we have such a strong culinary program, if you watch any of the culinary shows on TV, we do a lot of those emulations on campus with competitions. So what's in the box, next best chef, or, you know, those, they didn't have those when I was there way back when, but they're doing them now. So it's fun to kind of watch the students go through that stress and pressure and 30-second countdown, but it just shows how prepared and how well our students are ready to face what's happening in that next step of their career path. So those are my favorite 3 things about Johnson & Wales University.
Yeah, this is still a hard question for me to answer. A few years to working in admissions at St. John's, I feel like I could go at length. But I think what it boils down to for me is, I mean, you know, if you're the type of person, you know, who's taking, like, you know, Dedekind's work in number theory and Maxwell-Eddy's electromagnetism, but also literature of Shakespeare and like Plato's dialogues, and you think these are all equally important to me and vitally connected, and I need to like put them all together, you may not always have people surrounding you who like know what in the world you're talking about. When you come to St. John's, you're among your people in a way that's just really cool. People who kind of want to have these conversations that are bouncing all off these different texts and keep that going. So yeah, that's something I really enjoyed about my time as a student, and that I still love working here. You know, getting to talk with the students and the tutors and the other staff members. Yeah, the conversations and the kind of community that you find here, these specific of the Johnnies, these weird types of people. Yeah.
Yeah, first I want to say I'm sorry that I wasn't muted when I celebrated hitting 6 minutes on the dot. So sorry about that. My favorite thing about the university is I was a student. So I mean, I just like all of you, I could probably talk about a lot of things. I really enjoy that Embry-Riddle is a hands-on focused university that is also degree specific. So you're not taking general education courses for 2 years. You're in a hands-on lab from your freshman year. So the engineers are building robots that they can computer design, as well as that they code themselves. I was in a hands-on forensic lab my first year. So I really think when you're trying to pick a college, having a college that focuses on your education and puts that above everything is super, super important. And I think all of these schools here tonight really do focus on the quality of your education. So you definitely came to a great presentation. My own personal favorite experience was probably studying abroad. I highly recommend all of you students out there look into studying abroad. It's the easiest way to get your education and travel paid for over the summer. There are a ton of people out there that want to pay for you to go live in another country all summer. So I minored in Arabic, so I studied abroad in Morocco for 2 whole summers, and I paid close to nothing. So definitely look into that.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. I really hope that all of our attendees enjoyed getting extra fun facts, a little extra peek into that student experience, what makes each community really special. I know I can speak for everyone, all the presenters, that we love, as much as all of us love the schools that we've attended or worked at, but we also love hearing about other institutions as well. So thank you all for sharing. I loved everything that I learned, and hope our attendees did too. We are coming to the end of our time here, so I really would like to thank everyone for spending time with us today. I hope you enjoyed learning about these institutions. For all of our attendees, please follow up. All of our representatives would love to talk with you more about their schools, programs, and answer your questions. And for all of our presenters, thank you so much for sharing everything that you did tonight with our students. As we come now to our close, we just want to remind you and let you know that when you close this window, there's going to be a link to a very quick 4-question survey. We'd appreciate any feedback that you can provide. Also, this is just one of many sessions that are being hosted, so be sure to sign up for additional sessions to learn more about other outstanding universities and colleges. In about a week, you'll be able to find this session's recording, as well as all of the other session recordings online. We thank you all again for attending. Have a wonderful day, and goodbye.